Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fluent English Plus. If you've ever traveled by plane or plan to, you'll definitely want to hear this story. Today, I'm sharing something that actually happened to me not long ago. A day at the airport. That didn't go the way I expected. I missed my flight, had to rebook, got delayed, met a stranger, ordered food in the air, and then my luggage didn't show up. But I'm not just telling the story for fun. Along the way, you'll see exactly what to do if any of this happens to you. These are real situations, and I hope my experience helps you feel more prepared the next time you travel. Let's get into it. I left home around 4:45 a.m. and reached the airport by about 5:30. First thing, at the entrance, the security asked for my passport and e-ticket. I showed both on my phone and they let me in. I headed straight to the airline check-in counter. It was fairly empty. I gave them my passport and ticket. They asked about checked baggage. I had one suitcase, so they weighed it, tagged it, and sent it off. Then they handed me my boarding pass and told me to head to gate 24. Boarding was scheduled for 7:30. After that, I went through security, took off my shoes, removed my laptop, put everything in trays, passed through the scanner. Then came immigration. Passport, quick questions, stamp. Done. By that time, it was around 6:05. I figured I had more than an hour to relax, so I stopped by a cafe and ordered a latte. I sat down, scrolled through my phone, and lost track of time. At some point, I heard my name over the speaker.
Final call for passenger Thomas, flight to Tokyo, gate 24.
I jumped up, grabbed my bag, and ran. It wasn't close. I reached the gate, but it was too late. The gate had closed. The plane was still there, but I wasn't getting on. I asked what I could do. They told me to go to the airline service desk to rebook. I went straight there, explained that I missed my flight, and handed them my documents. The staff checked and told me there was another flight at 11 a.m. There was a change fee, about $50. I agreed, paid, and they printed a new boarding pass. So now, I had a few hours to wait. I found a seat near the new gate, and that's when the next part of the story happened. I sat down near my gate, pulled out my phone, and started watching videos. A guy sat a few seats away. After a while, he looked over and asked,
You heading to Tokyo too?
I said yeah, told him I had missed my earlier flight. He laughed and said he had a delay as well. We started talking. It was casual, where we were going, where we were from, how airports always mess with your sense of time. About 30 minutes later, we heard an announcement.
Flight to Tokyo delayed. Estimated departure 12:15 p.m.
He looked at me and said,
Well, looks like we've got time. Want to grab a coffee?
I said sure. We walked to a small cafe nearby and continued chatting. Talked about books, travel plans, languages, and how delays sometimes force you to slow down and just talk to people. Around noon, we headed back to our gate. It was finally time to board. I boarded the plane, found my seat by the window, and settled in. The cabin crew greeted everyone. I stored my bag in the overhead bin and sat down. After takeoff, I looked through the in-flight menu. I was getting hungry. I pressed the call button and asked the flight attendant, "Hi, can I get the chicken sandwich and a bottle of water?" She nodded, came back a few minutes later with my order. I paid with my card. While handing it over, I asked her, "Do you enjoy working as a flight attendant?" She smiled and said,
Most days, yes. I like meeting new people. It's different every time.
We chatted for maybe a minute or two. Nothing deep, just a quick exchange. I ate, then looked out the window for a while. The rest of the flight was quiet. We landed around 3 p.m. I got off the plane, went through immigration, and headed to the baggage claim area. People started picking up their bags. I waited. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. Still nothing. Eventually, the belt stopped. My suitcase wasn't there. I looked around, double-checked the belt number, then went to the airline's baggage service desk. I told them, "Hi, my luggage didn't come out. I was on the flight from Ho Chi Minh City to Tokyo." They asked for my baggage tag, the one attached to the boarding pass, scanned it, and checked their system. Turned out the bag hadn't made the flight. It was left behind. They said it would arrive later that day or the next morning. I filled out a lost baggage report, gave them the address of my hotel, and they said they'd deliver it once it arrived. I walked out of the airport with just my backpack. So yeah, that was my day at the airport. It started with a missed flight, included a delay, a random coffee with a stranger, a short chat with a flight attendant, and ended with a lost suitcase. Was it stressful? A bit, but now I know exactly what to do in these kinds of situations. And I hope this story helped you, even just a little, whether you've had a similar experience or you're preparing for your first flight. If anything like this has ever happened to you, I'd love to hear your story. Drop it in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, feel free to give it a like and consider subscribing if you want to hear more real travel experiences like this one. Wishing you a safe, pleasant, and smooth flight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.